How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and today we will be talking about my favorite show of all time. I know it's been a while, of me posting these videos, and I still haven't even covered this show, but I would like to cover the show Friends. It is my favorite show of all time. I know that a lot of people have probably already seen it. It's a 1990s classic. It's a classic of all time. Everyone has heard of Friends, and a lot of people have already watched it. A lot of people have mixed opinions. They say that Friends is the best show of all time. Some people say that it's not. Some people say that it's really bad. And so I just want to go a bit into my opinion on the show. Obviously, it's 10 seasons long, so spoiler warning is up ahead. I will be saying a few things that happen. But if you haven't watched the show, like I say with all these old reviews, you probably did want to watch it because the show's been out for so long. It's an amazing show. I really love it. I know that if you really give it a chance and you really like the humor, you'll really love it. I've heard that a lot of people just wanting to get something off of my chest. A lot of people say that they don't like the show because they couldn't get over the laugh track, and every time that they make a joke or finish a sentence, people laugh. And yes, I can get behind that, and I can get behind that theory. But for me, the show was just way too good. The characters were so good. The story was really good. The Rachel and Ross dynamic was really good. Everything was just amazing. And so I just really enjoyed the show, regardless of the laugh track. So if you can try to get past the laugh track, I know that you guys are going to have an amazing time watching this show. And I don't really find this show to be too adult content. It doesn't really show anything. It makes a few sarcastic jokes and a few references like that. But it's just a really funny show all in all. And I think that it's a great show. One that I would recommend for everyone. And so if you do want to watch it, then great. And if you don't, then you can watch this review. You can subscribe to this channel. I know it is down there. You can definitely see it if you look hard enough. And if you press that button, you'll make me very happy. And I would love for all of you to press that button. But I know some of you aren't very convinced, so you can go watch other videos that I've made, and you can press that button there. And if not, just like the video, comment down below what you guys think, and let's get straight into this review. So now we have Friends, a 10-season show of Ross, a hopeless romantic, and Rachel, a girl who is looking for the love of her life in New York City after running away from trying to get married. And you have a group of friends, which is where the name of the show comes from. And the friend group consists of 6 people. You have Rachel, that one person that ran away from the wedding. That's how she gets introduced. She's Monica's friend from childhood, so she knows Ross, and she's like Ross's first love. Ross always had this special place in his heart for her, and so seeing her again really brings back all these memories for him. You have Monica, which is Ross's sister. Ross, which is the hopeless romantic that I was talking about before. We have Phoebe. Her characterization is very weird, but she's a very funny friend that's just there, and she's like a dumb blonde character, like the typical dumb blonde that you think about. She's very funny. I really like some of the jokes that she makes. Sometimes I do feel like she might be a bit extra, but at the end of the show, you can really see where the character comes out, and I really find that to be really funny. And I really like her character at the end of the show. At the beginning of the show, you're trying to get the grasp of the characters, so it's a bit harder to actually like these characters. So once you get past season 3 onto season 4, 5, and 6, which for me, those are sweet spots of the show. And then season 10, which is just the best season of the show. You're really just it'll be getting better. Then you have Chandler, the sarcastic friend that makes everything into a joke, and he's just super funny. I really like him. And then Joey, my favorite character on the show, the dumb character that's a player, and he's super funny, and he takes way too long to notice jokes. I really like Joey, and he's very important to the story. I think that he's just a great character. And the story just goes through the life of these 6 friends. Some of them find out that they're in love with each other, and some of them find out that they're not really meant to be. And you just go with this oh, I love you, but then she loves someone else. And it's this whole back and forth where everyone just gets mixed up in this whole pile of drama, but they end up all being together as friends. And the way that the story ends is just such a beautiful ending that I really just appreciated the way that it ended. I would have wanted to see more of the show because these characters are some that you watch 10 seasons of them and you really get emotionally attached, and then the show just ends. But all good things have to come to an end, and this show is no exception. So the parts that I find to be the most important ones are first when Rachel and Ross start dating, and then when they break up. We were on a break, like if you've seen any GIF from Friends, that's probably what you've seen. It's so funny because they were technically on a break, but you don't do that, Ross. Like you just don't. And so Rachel and Ross break up. They get back together. They break up. They get back together. They break up. Then they accidentally get married in Las Vegas, and then she never actually goes with the divorce. And then she goes with the divorce, and Ross is that one person that was married to a woman. Then she turned out to be a lesbian. Then was married to another woman and said the wrong name. Well, was about to get married to a woman and then said the wrong name at the altar. Then he accidentally married Rachel. And then at the end of the show, they end up getting together, and that just concludes their like love story in the most perfect way. And the way that happens, and one of the standout moments for me in the show are where Phoebe and Ross are driving to the airport because Rachel's about to leave for a job that she has in Paris, and Phoebe just comes up with this bullshit excuse like, "No, you can't get on this plane." Well, why can't I get on this plane? Because I got a bad premonition. It's like, okay, what could your bad premonition be? And she's like, the plane has no left phalange. Obviously, like, how do you not know that the plane is missing its left phalange? And the funny part of the scene is it's not that her saying it's the left phalange failure. Obviously, planes have left phalange failures all the time. And so at like the show, like she's like, no, nothing's wrong with the plane. And so the person next to her overhears and he's like, wait, what's wrong with the plane? What do you mean? And so she's like, no, my friend is just being all weird and just all voodoo stuff, saying that there's no left phalange to the plane. It's like, wait, this plane doesn't have a left phalange? How are you just telling me right now that this plane does not have a left phalange? I cannot believe this. We need to get off the plane. And so it becomes this whole freak out thing where they all just get off the plane simultaneously just because there's no left phalange. Planes don't even have phalanges. For any of you guys that don't understand this advanced humor joke, planes don't have phalanges, and so when they're coming back on the plane, people keep asking it, like, is there phalanges? And so they say that there's extra just because they don't want another freak out like what happened. And Ross ends up making it to the airport, and so he confesses his love, which at the beginning isn't reciprocated. She gets on the plane, and then at the end, she ends up actually not getting on the plane and going with him and saying that she loves him, and they end up together. A lot happens in between the way, but that's basically the gist of what happens at the end of the show and the conclusion to their story. And then you have Monica and Chandler, that they go to London for Ross's wedding, second wedding with the girl that he said the wrong name at the altar to, and they end up sleeping together there, and they realize that they love each other from there, and so they end up having this whole great relationship. And at the end of the show, they end up adopting two twin babies. At the beginning, they didn't know that they were twins, but at the end they do have twins, and that's a really beautiful scene, and it's just really great because there's a lot of funny jokes that go into it, and there's a lot of really good story that goes into it. Phoebe, she ends up with a guy named Mike, and if you don't know who Mike is, he is Paul Rudd, and I just thought that he was really funny in the show. It was a really good show to like bring someone else in, because if not, Phoebe would have ended with Joey, and I think that's like what the original plot of the story was, but they didn't want that to happen, and so they gave her Mike, and he was a great addition to the show. He was like one of those like special characters that came every now and then. And then you have Joey, which he ended up getting his own spin-off show that got canceled after its first season just because nobody really wanted to watch it because they were trying to build off of the Friends name. Obviously, it's still a Joey show, but it was very interesting to see Joey without his friends, and so a lot of people didn't watch it. I didn't watch it. I would much rather just watch Friends and the humor that comes with Ross being a paleontologist and nobody really understanding what a paleontologist is. Joey being this struggling actor that's just trying to land all these roles and making all these funny jokes. Rachel wanting to be this fashion, I don't really know what job she wants to do, but this fashion person, and her job almost takes her to Paris away from Ross, and she ends up choosing love over work. You have Phoebe, which is like a struggling musician that she really just, like, her story doesn't really conclude that much. You have a really good conclusion with Monica and Chandler's story, them starting a family together, moving to the suburbs. But Phoebe's story is a bit more like, she has Mike, and then that's that. She doesn't really find too much success in her job and what goes on from there, but she finds success in love, and I think that's what the show is trying to hint at. And so you just have this really spectacular ending that I felt was like one of the big standouts to the show, because a lot of shows would try to make the ending different and maybe try to play it off as like a spin-off and stuff like that, which is what they did, but with just one character. They didn't make a spin-off about every character, and they really didn't know when to end it, because it was 10 seasons. But the show itself was just an amazing ride, and if anyone has enough time to watch 10 seasons, then I totally recommend it. And if you don't have enough time, then you can watch like one episode every now and then. I don't really know where to watch it because it's changed so much. I think it's Max is the streaming platform. I'm not really sure. Someone will have to fact check me on that one. But I really enjoyed the show, and for me, this is the best show I've ever watched. For me, this is just a 10 out of 10 show. But I can't give it a 10 out of 10 because, like I said, laugh track, and there are certain things that do stop it from being the 10 out of 10 perfect show that it is. But for me, it's a 9.7 out of 10. Easily the best show that I've ever watched. And it's the most rewatchable show for me, in my opinion. This one and How I Met Your Mother are on the same level. I really love them both. And I will be making a review on How I Met Your Mother and what I feel about that show, the ending, and all these different kinds of things. But just the way that this show ended was very standout to me. The jokes that came out throughout the show were just very standout to me. And keep in mind that I watched this growing up. Okay, like I watched this when I was in my junior high years to my high school years, and it was just a fun ride every time I rewatched it, and it just brings me a lot of nostalgia. And to talk about it here, I can't go into depth of 10 seasons. I'm sorry, everyone. It's just really hard to do that. If you guys really want me to do it, then I will go into depth, but I'll do like an episode per season. But for now, all I'll say, it's a 9.7 out of 10 show. I really love this show, and I know that if you guys give it a chance, you guys will love it too. But that is all for me today. So thank you everyone for watching this video. Like I said before, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, comment down below what you guys think about Friends. I can't wait to hear about what you guys think. I love this show, and I love you guys, and I love you who are watching. So thank you everyone for watching. I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out.